One of the things that we know is an established fact about the sandbaggers in alternative media who worked with Jaime Carbonell and Neva Corporation, Yoko Ono, when I was at the Pitt News before I issued the warning in 1994 that Israel was embarked on revenge for Auschwitz, which was issued at Carnegie Mellon. One of the things we know about the Sandbagger Alliance is they are triumphalists under Paul McCartney. The only purpose that John Lennon's disappearance served any of the sandbaggers, I mean, George Galloway, Owen Jones, Rainey Kalick, all of the heavies from Breakthrough News, Thomas Merton Center, the NAACP, or Obama's extremist apparatus, Seattle and Pittsburgh, the University of Washington. The only purpose Lennon's disappearance served, the only purpose, was to advocate for his killers. And no matter how you flesh it out, that's what it comes down to. They were advocating for Gail Burstyn by hook or by crook, by any means necessary. Now, what you'll see with these commentators, even when there's darkness and shrouded issues, and most of these people could give you a definition of false flag operations and go into historical anecdotes about Allende in Chile and the United Fruit Corporation. Even if they're not sympathetic to Kennedy, they could talk about his assassination, some of them. They talk about the economic turbulence caused by tariffs and what the hidden agenda of Donald Trump is. But what they construct plays into the hands of American mercenaries who are online. They say, oh, we want the hostages freed and we'll kill as many children as it takes to get rid of Hamas. All of them working together. These mercenaries get their gas at the Breakthrough News station. It's as simple as that. Russian intellectuals are their gas station. What do I mean by that? They presume that there's a Hamas versus Israel text to the whole thing. Plain and simple, which is false consciousness and completely ignores the evidence. Adam Eisenstadt was an Israeli berserker who worked at the Pitt News when I was there. He's now a Trump speechwriter. Okay. He had a band called the Bad Martyrs. We know that Hamas are bad martyrs. Sin War is an index name. They bombed the supernova rave. Adam Eisenstadt took these bad martyrs and he disguised his voice as Abdul the terrorist on KDKA radio and sold to people that he was a Palestinian terrorist. The pattern is perfectly obvious. Palestinians stand for their nationhood and their people, but they have been sandwiched, to put it in the location language taxonomy, the glossary of the Seattle Tacoma location, where you have supernova, cosmonaut, hair, a Palestinian flag joint, and the star with two R's sandwich, like Ringo Starr. The supernova rave was a symbol of rapprochement towards Gaza based on the forces of Arab Spring. Young people who want a chance at life and who are likely to join forces with climate change activists around the world were exterminated to build a resort for these monsters. And the people who are covering for them are the very people claiming to be protesting and outraged and indignant about Gaza. How do we know that? For one thing, there's two factors involved in understanding how we know that. One way we know that is they completely ignore the evidence of real personnel at IDF, real personnel at Trump headquarters, who worked with Hamas and understood them as the baddest of martyrs. And the other way we know is that the only purpose that John Lennon's strange story, written by Gail Burstyn, served is to advocate for the Israeli mercenaries who are avenging Auschwitz. That's the only purpose it serves. To Galloway, Owen Jones, Rainey Kalick, to Brian, to Richard Wolff. That's the only purpose it serves. To Peter Shell, to Brian Richmond, to Will Zellbrome, to Barack Obama, to Malik Obama, to Angela Davis. It's the only purpose it serves. It's to advocate for the people who they claim killed him. That's the only purpose it serves. There's no other purpose it serves. You cannot find a single one of them to even admit that I persuaded Boswell to visit Africa, and he pulled Pitt out in affirmation that it was time to divest from apartheid. They can't bear the thought of it. Now we are dealing with the criminally insane, and these people are covering for it. What we know about the situation, a lot of it we know from the bowling alley massacre of Robert Card, who was part of a VA Zionist Christian detachment in Maine, covering for Zell and the huge supernova massacre that predated the supernova massacre in Seattle at the Blue House and predated the supernova rave in the border of Gaza that led to the Gaza rave massacre, which Egypt largely did because they hated Arab Spring. They wanted revenge on the masses for what happened in Mubarak. That's the truth of the matter. Galloway can't comprehend the truth, so he lets me publish my digest occasionally. He should be credited for that. It's not that they can't handle the truth. They just can't comprehend it. It doesn't make sense to their sad minds because a magician was at the root of it. A magician from Hollywood working with Hitler Reagan. His name was Ouspensky. He was beloved to Gurdjieff, whose acolyte taught Hitler his hypnosis over the masses moves. Yes, Gurdjieff had a role in the rise of Adolf Hitler. So did Walt Disney. Adolf Hitler was virtually a Disney character, a Disney creation. Ouspensky and his gang in Fayum, Gabriel D'Annunzio, these people the penis Gabriel imitates, came up with the idea of having a starring role whether you told people he was killed and moved him into a fourth dimensional super state from which to operate as though from the beyond. This is how these supernaturalists came to haunt our society in the name of UW dialectical spinner beanies. God save us from the spinner beanies.